Hi, welcome to Caffe Lena Poetry Night. Yeah, let's hear it for Caffe Lena Poetry Night. The clapping will keep you warm, so that's a good reason. If nothing else, we're here tonight with a featured poet. The wonderful and talented Suzanne Rancourt is here. We're going to have her come up in just a few minutes. And then when she is through with her reading, we'll get on with the open mic part of the event. I'm going to start off the night with a poem by Diane DePrima. This is called First Snow Kerhunksen. This, then, is the gift the world has given me, you have given me. Softly the snow cupped in hollows, lying on the surface of the pond, matching my long white candles which stand at the window, which will burn at dusk while the snow fills up our valley, this hollow. No friend will wander down, no one arriving brown from Mexico, from the sunfields of California bearing pot. They are scattered now, dead or silent or blasted to madness by the howling brightness of our once common vision. And this gift of yours, white silence filling the contours of my life. Yeah. All right. Suzanne S. Rancourt. It has been the 2 times she has been a Best of the Net nominee. She's Abenaki Huron descent. She has 3 books published. They're all in the lobby there for you to buy as many copies of as you would like. Her newest book is Old Stones, New Roads. That came out in just this year. She has another book forthcoming from Unsolicited Press in 2023. But we still like her in spite of her prolific publishing. We still accept her among us. She is a USMC and Army veteran, a multimodal expressive arts therapist. She has a website which she can tell you about when she comes on stage because it didn't print up on my sheet here. So let's give a huge warm welcome to Suzanne S. Rancourt.
Well, it takes a while to get situated now, you know. Got to do a little of this, a little of that. Okay. I kind of like my mask, you know. I'm getting really attached to my masks. It was the first time that I was able to, like, go shopping at, like, Christmas time and whatnot and not get gagged by pumpkin spice. I kind of like that. So those of you who've heard my work over the years, thank you for your support and your encouragement. First time I came on this stage was, probably about the mid to late 80s. And it's an honor to be here, because I wouldn't be here without support from other artists. With that said, you know I'm not really a Hallmark kind of poet, so, you know, cover your ears if you need to. What appears abandoned may be incubation. I have found peace here at the river's shore that people insist is a lake, which it is not. Just ask the stones muffled by sludge, banked over rotted homes flooded by the dam in 1930, eminent domain. Ask them about the gutted deep current that spines its way unnoticed by motorized wakes. This is a river, sure as the dead it never gives up, still wedged between scuttled autos by the rolling belly sands of progress. This is the river torso wind rides for free with its erotic undulations that press each stone. Someone once told me that the first time they heard water with their new hearing aids, it sounded like glass shattering. This valley shattered into a river that people insist on calling a lake, moaning, not sharp, not splintered, but in curves or roundness, coming from the mouths of the people in the water. Their presence, a peristaltic voice. They loved this valley too, born here, gave birth here, farmed here, and died here before the dam, before the flood. This is a river that innocent children, boys, summer, a luxury that only poverty can turn into paradise. This is a river. Greening the bones of beginnings. I celebrate with coffee, chocolate, zucchini, and hummus, the pine nuts, its turpentine, sweet tinge, the presence of absence, which sounds incredibly like absinthe, and perhaps it must. It isn't you personally that I miss. It is the aftertaste of lost imagination. What could have been if only we, and then we didn't. Now here I am, sitting with the scent of fairies. Drop by drop, I add our memories to my life, clouding the road just enough until I see you three, there by the gallant antique shop, as shadows, distilled marauders. You are all dead, and still you pillage my living. Now, once you start applauding like that, you're all going to feel goofy if I read a poem that you detest. So it's okay to not applaud. It's okay to savor. It's okay to do that. I give you permission. I release you from that need. Okay? It's okay. It's okay. Descent. Shag hair cattle, russet, black, brown with full horns, stand thick-tongued among droplets of alpine blossoms, yellow, purple, white. Breakfast in the dining car. Sun splits clouds, glares off peaks, shoots down into my second-class seat. I ate silence, read the menu by way of rail, pen, jam, and 2 espressos spiked with anticipation. Deciduous forests, a sliver of mountain, replaced by steel and aluminum, cranes, trusses, smokestacks, omniscient traveler. My rail car slices into the valley, javelin intent, arterial balloon arrival, a blood blossom population. Hey, free will. Crying over continents. I'm not letting go like I used to. I feel heavier in my gathering of nuances, intimacies. You watch someone for hours, days. You learn what time they take their dog for a shit, turn on the garage light, the one just right of the workbench, and always with the left hand. You'll learn to recognize the screams of a woman in an upstairs back bedroom being struck, or the subtle moans of make-up sex easing across the backyard from windows never locked and left half open. Or maybe it's the man in the downstairs apartment under yours that you watch shaving his son's head before forcing the kid to wear a chain and a crucifix bigger than the kid's malnourished chest, with ribs that break at 0200 hours, when dad comes home drunk, no sex and vile. The mother died mysteriously, they say, in a different town. There's truth in everything I read, and some of it's just more word for word, and some of it's what I call truth inspired. The next poem, I want to send a shout out to an organization called Nature Culture, and they have a project. It's called the Writing the Land Project. And a special shout out to the Downey Salmon Federation I got paired up with. So I was out on 600 plus acres of like primitive land in Maine, unplugged for several days. And you never know what's going to come up. That's the whole idea. And you just write and you write and you write and you write and you write. And then sometimes you start, a narrator shows up, a character shows up, and you keep writing, no matter what it says, and then you pray for the strength and the courage to be able to read it. So this next one comes with a wee bit of a trigger warning. I use adult language, and there's some topic matter that, depending on your own experiences, et cetera, et cetera. And that's what this photo here is for. This is a girl I went to school with in Temple, Maine. For all the missing, murdered Indian girls and or women who just weren't white enough or rich enough or educated enough or cared about enough. What I mean to say is, shut the fuck up. The voices of children murdered by sadistic, pedophilic men, bigots, and bigotesses are speaking. The voices of women murdered by sexual predators are speaking. The voices of families sucked hollow as brittle chicken bones from the day after day, year after year of not knowing are the river voices that wail through wagging salmon tongues. This violation filth that log jams, chokes the cervical channels. So yeah, you shut the fuck up. With your male dick breath arrogance, your intellect isn't even clever, nor is your cyanide skin worth the drumheads lost to the moans just before a life takes their last piss. Shut the fuck up, dude, while I tell you about finding rotting flesh that was once a girl in the sawdust pile one September during Fair Week, and how a couple of privileged white males walked away to careers all the local folks knew they hid behind because poor girls ain't worth your left testicle. Yeah. You shut the fuck up and don't talk to me about how it's not about race. That there's simply good people and bad people, and race has nothing to do with why poor girls with head lice and dark skin find their way on the end of your cock speared sucker at midnight in rural Americana man camps, or Thailand, or Korea, or Mongolia, or any other country your privilege leaks between shale layers, fracking. Your dick splits these girls apart from their dignity, because that's how genocide works. And what's a few more scattered carcasses strewn across your petro-political landscape? Screed histrionics now a COVID-contaminated blanket. So yeah, you just shut the fuck up, 'cause I'm telling you, get right with your God, 'cause the keepers be coming for you. You got to remember, this stage is about change, political change, and the courage to speak about that change, and the courage to speak about those truths. The many ways to drown. This first responder will carry you forever. The air bubbles gasping from Dog Day's river muck will make him vomit for years to come. He will never again split the breast of a Christmas or Thanksgiving turkey without feeling your green 8-year-old ribs crack from adrenaline-fired chest compressions. He will never allow his own children near the river or lake or pool again, and they will rebel. Scream adolescent hate at him, hurl dejection glaringly, stand lily white on the outer side of the chain-link fence, their friends' parents, schoolmates flutter kick and bob between lifeguard whistles, their arms floundering. He will not be able to save his own children from misconception, fallacies, fake news, propaganda, or risk-driven misunderstandings communicated by his own grief and what-ifs. What if they had searched there first? What if someone had noticed the boy's absence sooner? What if, tell me, what if the loss of all children was mourned equally? What if this river's death did not pull him back into the humidity that gags him still as lifeless children in a man's arms, a father's arms? How do we protect from this? Keep safe, keep clean. How can a man wash clean from this kind of self-inflicted failure when his arms still carry the weighted truth? He did everything he could, and still it was not enough. Anytime you want to know what the truth is in a poem, you just ask. I'll tell you. This next poem, I actually witnessed this exchange in a group art experience, community art making experience. And the reference to the man in Vietnam actually comes from a video called Warriors, which is a documentary film, Native American Vietnam veterans. If ever you come across that, you should snag it. It was put out by Red Eye Video. It's absolutely outstanding. Well ahead of its time. The boy in the water. Witness. The boy, like water tumbling to a puddled stop, for the wind to quiver its surface. His brown hand extended across the tops of many hands to a man he had never met, who received with palm turned sunward toward the source, Alaling, the milk of many. And this hand that received across the valley of differences recognized the water in the water. I heard the echo. I heard the whisper called a gesture. Same, same, our skin the same color. And I recalled a moment. A Lakota man in Vietnam tightened his grip on an M16. A grandma runs from a hut and pleads, same, same, her hand touching his. In between. A photo album of life and times, stuttering, stopping, false starts, rough endings. And yet, here in this space of humanness, in black and white archaic pixels, before pixels grayscale, we are too familiar, too close to life's tragedies and injustice, covered by venomous joy. What kind of animal are we that does not recognize we are all related? And I'm going to finish up with this last poem. I'm reading poems from the 2023 forthcoming. That's Songs of Archilochus, if you want to see where Archilochus comes from. You've got to check that out, rather fascinating. And Murmurs at the Gate, I've read a couple from, and then there's one that's way out ahead that is some new stuff, and Old Stones, New Roads. This is from Songs of Archilochus. While standing in the sun, trees sway their bird shadows, fly across my eyelids' concavity. A sugar maple shimmies up through balsam fir. Hemlock's green fingertips timids toward my shoulder. Sun pulls a frothed spume to green tufted tips. Growing up, we were always told that it was frog spit. A momentary cloud covers, insulates from tight realities. Circumstances laddered upward through broken branches slip on bad choices, shed as speared anecdotes. Sometimes the only way out is through. While a spider weaves its Kevlar thread into my skirt, ties my hands to wavering gestures to the heady pinnacles piercing the Netherlands, the wallows where husbands and lovers once inhabited. There are times when being empty is the fullest a heart can be. And it takes me just as long to gather up all my stuff, you sprawl. Thank you very much.
Suzanne, that was wonderful. Hang on a second, guys.
This photograph. This is the girl whose body was found in the sawdust pile in my hometown.
Okay, thank you. So we're going to start off with the open mic. For tonight, since I'm trying to keep things safe for everybody, we're going to not have a mic